Hello? Hello, everyone. Hi. This is Daley. I am the author of the partly completed series right now of The Adventures of Rise and Garth. I'm here today to tell you a little of my books and to gather your support for a charity month. Let's show our support today for St. Jude's Children's Hospital. Please use the link we're going to be providing for you for donations in the comments. That goes straight to St. Jude's. To give everyone a little information on my oh, let me see, my apologies. Um, to give everyone a little bit of background on me, for those who don't know, let me say that I have been writing science fiction and fantasy stories since I was in high school. I even won an award for one, which was put out in that year's high school anthology. So while I wrote my different stories for decades and read them aloud to my friends and family, it wasn't until 2015 when I finally found the courage to hit the button and actually self-publish my books. I know that writing is now really it's my life, and I don't think I could envision not writing. In fact, I hate to say it, I don't sleep if I don't write. So it's kind of like my muse is making sure that I stay on track and I keep things moving. Just to let everyone know, I have written other stories which I will be putting out. They need a bit of work still, just a little polishing, so that then I will be putting them out uh, soon. I'm gonna be doing right now, though I do want to finish my current series, which is, of course, the Adventures of Rise and Garth. It's going to be a total of 10 books in this series. At least that's the plan. We will see when we get there. And um, just so you know, that right now, currently, I am polishing up the end of book 6. We are I kind of have a rough outline started for book 7. I haven't gotten that far yet. I mean, I've had these stories written for decades, but it's a matter of getting it together in the correct format, getting the story to flow, just basically tearing it apart and putting it back together again so that it's the best story I can put out for the bunch of you that are out there, my dear readers. So, just to give you a little bit of a background on my books, I was going to start with, of course, Tana's Dawn. In this one, I'm introducing Rise and Garth and their family and friends. They have basically, they're simple, okay, they're the descendants of people who were from a highly advanced civilization. But I mean, in everyday life, that's not really important. And they weren't raised to have that in their thoughts all the time. So they're actually more of simple hunters and gatherers. Rise and her grandfather lived apart from the rest of the villagers, and because he refused to turn her over as an infant to his daughter to raise, um, because he was afraid that she would be killed by her daughter's, I guess you'd call her friends. But he was kind of a violent person. So grandfather Rowan raised her, and it was just the two of them. He relocated to an old family house out near the Erie River so that they could at least have some peace and she could grow up and be happy. So if anybody has any questions too, please feel free to put it in the comments and I'll make sure I can answer that for you. So anyway, so in the story, the villagers have gotten to a point where there's been a famine, droughts, and stuff for the last couple of years. They haven't been, the hunts have been really poor. So they finally break down and they basically, when Rise is on her way out to go do some hunting, stop her and ask her if she will teach them the way she hunts because she has success. She's a good huntress. She doesn't, she and her grandfather have plenty of food. In fact, grandfather Rowan actually shares the bulk of Rise's catches with the other villagers. He just, um, kind of donates it around so that he's helping to support the village, even though that they're kind of outcasts right now. And they, sorry about this, itchy nose, so that they're helping. Even though they're not a part of the everyday village life, he's helping to support them. So anyway, so she takes everyone out for a fun little hunt and tries to teach them, okay, you don't do this, you do this, kind of thing, so that they can learn how to be better. This starts the story. Um, Events happen during in the book, and they end up having to leave Matlow Village. A, Sabin ends up banned for a period of time. So they all leave as a group to go and see what they can of the outside world. So Rise and Garth are leading this band. We have Rise, Garth, Sabin, Artis, Chad, and Tor, and Marin. Don't want to forget Marin. he's he's Rise's cousin, younger cousin. So she really is getting to learn to know him too. So that anyway, so they're traveling out and they decide to go to the ancient ruins of Hades, which is on the far horizon. They very the highest point in Matlow. They can almost glimpse that really tall tower that's six up out of the city. And so they kind of know where it's at, but they really don't. But she does have maps. Rise does know how to read maps. She was raised with, reading, writing. Not a lot of the villagers thought that was important. Uh, they just paid attention to some of the basics when they were kids. They just didn't think writing was all that important in their lives. So anyway, so she takes this group out. They decide to go to Haley's. They ended up being split off from the group. Um, so Rise and Garth are having their own separate adventure. The rest of the main, little group of villagers there, they end up camping on the outskirts of Haley's and wait for them because that was a agreed upon meeting spot. So in book 2, oh, they catch up to the group, and I'm not telling what happened to Rise and Garth right now, but they ended up in their separate adventure in a very deadly situation. So thank goodness they got out of it. So anyway, the uh, in book 2 they meet up and they start exploring Hades to see what they can rediscover out of their technology. Because as Garth said, if people with minds and hearts and hands just like theirs built all this to start with, why can't they recreate it? So they're trying to figure out if they have any books, and of course they can't find any books. The ones that they have. This has been like almost 300 years, at least since the bombing. So they go in and they're very careful because there is a deadly poison. It's a gas that was used during the war. Come on. Just a moment. My apologies. Okay, so anyway, so they know they can't really go down deep into the city. This city was built as a deep pit. It was to not disturb as much as possible the land above because Tana originally was set up as a planet for preservation of different ecologies from different planets. So they've got many different ecologies that were kind of like transplanted to this world, given little zones. So they had animals that were native to other worlds there. They had different protein bases. Um, I mean, it was okay. So after 300 years and the bombing and no caretakers, well, things have kind of gotten a little bit out of hand in that regard that they've kind of contaminated each other. Um, so if you could, oh yes, here we are. Please again, feel free to click the link below to do your donations for St. Jude's Children's Hospital. They really need your support. They do absolutely stellar work for the children. They save lives and they save families. And what more could you want? Really, futures for more people. So please take advantage of that link and donate what you can out of your heart. It's really appreciated. But anyway, so back to the story about the second book. Um, uh, they are they explore what they can. Corbin catches up to them, who's actually Mirren's father and the one who they that Rowan didn't want around her because, like I said, he's kind of a murderous kind of being. So Garth wins that challenge, but I shouldn't have said that, should I? It's kind of a teaser. My apologies if you haven't read it yet. So they do their explorations. Have another party catch up to them from the village that had his sister Mitt and a couple other friends. So they go through Haley's and they know they have to find somewhere to live. This is starting out in early spring. So while the frost and everything is off the ground and everything is starting to thrive, they they have to get crops planted as soon as possible. In fact, as far as they're thinking, it might be kind of late. So they're trying to find a way out of the city. They want to find their own home, somewhere where they can live and be secure, raise their families. And they've decided that the village is not what they need to have anymore. So they go and find a road that is a very strange path. It's like a dual path that's running together. Now, we would call that the tracks of a of an SUV, but they don't know that. All they know is that it looks like something made by one of the big, huge carts from the caravans. Caravanners are kind of well, they trade between cities, and they keep people informed, and of course, they do entertain and stuff, but they're also the peacekeeping uh, peoples of Tina. Things get out of hand, they step in, and they will if something happens. But grandmother Rina and grandfather Darman are actually more like her grandparents, and they're also the ones that lead the caravans and you know, Tina. So Rice kind of has a basically a really good little hand up on that one. But anyway, so they're leaving this road, going on this road, which she said looks like a big caravan wagon had gone through. And it looked like from the depth of the tracks and everything had to have been quite a few times. So they thought, well, this is the way the caravanners came up to see Haley's. When they checked it out every now and again. They didn't know. They checked it out periodically to see if the poisons still were there. There was a large pit that they dumped things into. So anyway, in all of this, they discover this underground installation, again, underground, um, which looked like it was built by people that were not their people. And they find out about humans. Well, this is basically turns out to be a research facility that was abandoned. So they move into the facility, and there's plenty of land around it, so they get crops started. They have Rise is wind racer, and they catch other wind racers so that they have animals to ride. They're kind of like horses. So here they are setting up, and they're naming this home Winter Haven. So in the third book, um, mm, well, I think maybe it's in the end of the second. Um, we have got the place. So anyway, so um, they are being attacked by some of the people from the Moondance tribe, which are the Plains people. So Garth and Sabin realize they can't plant things, they can't go hunting if they're going to be constantly attacked, attacked, attacked. So they decide to go and settle up some kind of understanding or a peace treaty with the Moondance tribe. So Garth and Sabin take off to go take care of that. They figure, oh, we're just going to be gone for a couple weeks. So in the third book, um, here we have Artis and Rise trying to run everything themselves, as the leaders now. And Marin, of course, is supporting them in Tor. So they end up, Rise calls down the derelict remains of the Star Quest, which is the human, it's actually a colonial transport ship, but what it was, they were going to be evacuating everyone off the planet. Um, so there we are. Thank you very much. Your donation is truly appreciated, and I'm hoping you're enjoying this. So anyway, we have um, this starship she calls down. Well, what's the derelict remains of it? It had fallen under attack, and they don't know who it was. All they know, it was a dark enemy that's out there in space and just destroying. They are. So they have to learn to live together. Rise has what we call talents, and she's very talented. Mind voice being one of them. Rhea ends up having talent, but she's used to be of the Moondance tribe. They found her on the road on their way to Winter Haven. Um, anyway, so uh, they try to find language bases between the two peoples so that they can understand each other. And Dorothea Burns, she and Marin kind of hook up. So Marin has his dream lady. He'd been dreaming about her for a long time when they were on the road. So now he gets to finally meet her. They have, um, well, I anyway, so it's kind of a meshing of the two peoples. They learn to get along with each other. Now, the computer was just had been Rye's assignment to learn how to, basically control it. So, because it controls the whole facility. So basically, she's the keeper of the computer, and she's the one who takes care of things in that regard. Tor, of course, is doing security for the site. Uh, the others contribute. The humans coming in, they are at first kind of reluctant. It's like, these people are not, because they're all lion-like people, no tails, of course, but they don't quite understand what's going on. But they do know that there's nothing on the ship. They can't leave. They're stuck on the planet. So they're trying to make the best of it that they can. You know, they live and learn. Um, in the fourth book, if you will, briefly, uh, striding forth is they're learning to meld their talents and their hearts. They're learning to stand together and to face off others that would mean them harm. The guys did return at the end of book 3, I believe. Yes. So we have Saban and Garth come back, and they're now Saban is kind of recognized as chief exec for the by the computer. This isn't stuff that they've picked. And Garth is, of course, base commander. So Dr. Carruthers is at well. He's the base commander. He says, I'm still director of research. Rise is chief exec. you know, this is what Marin, of course, is the head of medical. He actually is he has a healing talent. He has a really good, strong healing talent that he can um, he can heal others with a touch. It's more than that. It really is. It's something he's born with. It's not something that you can just kind of assign or whatever. But that's where his talents lie. So um, in the fourth book, Striding Forth, they decide to okay, we have this mixed band of people. Let's go and go out to the gathers. Let's go see if we can introduce things like the laws. They're trying to reintroduce the laws to the rest of the people of Tana. They want to help improve people's lives. They want to help bring everybody together, you know, as a civilization again. Because right now everything is kind of scattered. You have the different peoples of Tana. There's at least 6 different races, I believe, on the planet. Just slowly introducing them. We've got the, well, anyway, another time. So not everyone is going to welcome them with open arms because they don't understand the laws. They don't know why these people are suddenly pushing it on them. Yeah, they have cool things. They have helicopters. They now have a, I'm not sure if they had the shuttle at this point up and operational. They might have. They have got, they've got the big, huge Land Rovers. So they've got all this equipment. They've got all these marvels. And they've got really strong talents because Rice had gone back to the Valley of Death where Doran was keeping her handmaidens. Now, in the very first book, Rise ended up burning out her abilities, Doran's abilities, her mind voice. She was a very strong manipulator. She had mind voice, and I don't recall off the top her third talent. But Rise removed it. She's been sentenced by the people back in Kamar, which is actually the homeworld of the Starmen, the lion people. And I do apologize for any noise in the background right now. We have an electrician on the grounds, and he's trying to do some work here. And again, I apologize. But so anyway, she's, Doran was sentenced by her people to basically an eternal sleep. They couldn't put her to death because she was a royal house. Her one and only son, she tried to kill him when he was born because he was a guy. She has a thing against men, but that's her thing. My apologies. But anyway, so again, don't forget to donate to St. Jude's Children's Hospital. The link is there in the comments area so that you can make that donation directly, and it goes straight to St. Jude's. And we do appreciate every donation you make. Thank you. Now, you can get, with a donation of $10 or more, a free copy of Tana's Dawn's audiobook. Yes, we have come out in audiobook now. We have book 1, Tana's Dawn, the very first one. Book 2 is under production. It's going to be a lot of fun. It really is. And we're just, I love the narrators. We've got great narrators. So, in book 4, Striding Forth, again, the rest of the people don't really understand what all they're doing. They know that these people are kind-hearted from Winterhaven. They have the advantage of technology that the rest of the planet doesn't have anymore because it was bombed out of existence again. All 12 cities on this planet were basically reduced to just rubble. Because they were underground, these people that attacked from space, they came out of the dark of the stars. They didn't even know who they were. They find recordings, though, but that's another matter. But, so uh, they know their enemy. They're the Snagospan. Uh, they just kind of shorten it and just call them the Snags. But, like we're humans, and Rise and her people are the Starmen. These Snagospan, that is their racial name for them. They are they are what they are. But in book 4, they're trying to show everyone this is the enemy. These are the people that practically killed us. They found a recording and they're displaying it for them so that they can see. But they're kind of cautious about how they're doing it. They're not putting it to everyone, because they understand that this could cause panic. Now, in book 5, Rescue, we have a lot of rescues going on. Garth and Sabin, and then a small party, they're putting up warning satellites, uh, just in case, so that they would know if the Snagospan come back to the system, so that they can get everybody, to shelters and get them out to where they could be safer. They, in their time to set up those shelters, and not shelters, sorry, to set up those warning satellites, they discover that there's decades long ago, the survivors, first off, from one of, um, well, we had basically a lost prince from Kamar staying on the planet, Prince Callus. So um, he had people coming and going in ships, smaller ships, just basically trying to keep the colonies together, trying to keep, what was going on out in the galaxy, getting the news. So apparently one of the ships crashed on this moon of the third planet of their solar system. It's called Tissen. Um, the moon itself is called Buddha. So they end up rescuing the people of Buddha. They find that some were humans, and the humans that were there were actually more treated as slaves by the Starmen there. They weren't like they were in Winter Haven. They weren't an equals kind of situation. So they tell them, we're not bringing you back to Tina, because these are descendants, of course, of Overall. Although some of these are the original people for the human side of it. So we're not bringing you back unless you know that we don't tolerate this. There are no slaves in Winter Haven. We will not have slavery. So they bring them back. It takes, well, Mitt is out there, Garth and Sabin. Dr. Carruthers actually went. Rowan went. And so maybe it was Dr. Carruthers. Maybe not. I got to go back and look. But anyway, so we have them in. They find a couple of ships that they kind of can get off of Buddha to just make the journey back to Tana. The one they know they can't get it to land because it's really old, really falling apart. So they basically end up having to ferry everybody off there, and they put it in a geosynchronous orbit over Winter Haven, and they're going to turn it into their very first space platform so they can launch future endeavors. They find out that there's going to be some humans inbound. So part of the story is dedicated to the the humans that were from Earth. They're in a blockade situation by the Snegospan. They call them the Darkins. That's all they call them because they don't even want to know. They don't really understand their language. This is their first intelligent, non-terrestrial life forms that they have encountered and gotten to see. So anyway, um, they get over to Guardian, Trinity, which is one of their colony worlds. They managed to break through with a small force. It was originally 12 ships. I believe only 10 of them break through and out of the blockade. Um, some of the ships went to Trinity, some went to some of the other colonies. They're trying to get people together so that they can break the blockade and free Earth, basically get rid of the snags. So what happens is they pull the Guardian is their space station was still standing there. I guess the others were destroyed, and it's really torn up really bad. But they rescue survivors there, about 80 people, I think, out of thousands. So it really isn't much. So they split them up among the ships that they have there at the time. And they tell Trinity they have no ships, they have nothing. So they said, well, bye. We're on our way to meet up over at Tana because that's where the one drone that Dr. Carruthers had sent out once the humans were revived to let them know the situation, at the Amatel station, uh, 1033. So they head off to Tana to try to regroup everybody, try to get as many people as they can so that they can attack Earth. Well, not the blockade of Earth. Um, the inner systems, the inner colonies are the only ones that are left besides, of course, Earth herself. The outer colonies that they had established in Saturn, Jupiter, planets and everything, moons rather, are gone. The Snagospen have destroyed them. They've actually eaten the people. They don't take prisoners. They're food. You know, it's nothing like being a food source for somebody. But anyway, so um, in rescue, again, they rescue the people off of Guardian. The the Winter Haveners rescue the people off of Buddha. There are Rise and the Greater Talents there form a group, and she's trying to pull her great aunt. Uh, yeah, her great aunt, Antidina, out of the past of Haley's fiery destruction, and they end up rescuing quite a few people out of the past in their efforts there. And of course, that's where that book ends. Now, Arrival, which is the book I'm just about done, is when the human ships arrive in the system, the Monrush system, and they're finding a very simple kind of colony, and of course they're a sophisticated big city, da 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 da. Not sure how to deal with it. They feel like they can just roll in and they own everything, and that's not the way the humans have been living there. They've been living as an equality that they know that this world is all they've got. They can't leave it. But now the Earth ships are here, but these are for war, ships of war, not transport. So they, well, this is like teasers, if you will. They have to learn to work together. That's the best way to put it. And Rise did find the Challenger, which was a huge warship from Kamar, and they've been working on trying to restore it so that they can use it to help break the blockade of Earth. Because again, they had this message from Earth, from that drone that Dr. Carruthers had sent out. They managed to send it back. And for whatever reason, the Snagospen ignored it. They thought it would help demoralize everyone. They didn't realize they were passing some real good real time intelligence, for that era, for that time. Anyway, so um, in the continuing books that are going to be coming out, in book 7, I like to say this is my favorite book in a lot of ways. They're at the fall gather at this point, and the girls take off with the Challenger to go on test runs. They accidentally find a new race of people. They take out a couple of Snagospen bases. You give us a ship, and we got the kids with us. We got to protect everybody. So they were going to have a girls' day on the ship, and it ended up being a couple of days for test runs. And they weren't supposed to be going out system, but they were going to go rescue a part of the flight of the human ships. The Challenger was the only one nearby who could do it. So again, they took off and went to go save people because that's what Rise likes to do. She wants to help people. She wants to save them. In book 8, that's going to be coming out, of course. Now that is it's going to be called Gathering Strength. The the people from Kamar, not Kamar, sorry, my apologies. The people from Winter Haven and the humans, not all of them, of course, are going to be journeying to Kamar to see what they can find and of allies, or to see, if Kamar still exists. What happened? They never came. Nobody ever came to save Tana from the snags or to help restore them or anything after the attack. So, of course, Kamar, they find out, had really been going through it. One of their moons had been shredded and thrown down onto the planet. Not a good time for anybody. But anyway, so um, the civilization there has gone down to a very, very more primitive level. Um, Definitely, they've lost their technology overall too. So, but there are the things there that Rise and the group get to discover. Plus, um, they had sent off Monty and Grandfather Rowan and a few others, and they find some of the allies that had been actually gathering for this event. It had been foreseen. So, um, we've, they get together. They're going to go back and they're going to go regroup over at Tana. And then book 9 is actually going to be called War. Simple as it could be. Um, in book 9, we're going to have everyone. I know I'm giving out kind of teasers. Sorry about this, but so they're learning to work together as a team. The human ships, the ships from all the allies of Kamar of old, of course the Winter Haveners. They're taking the lead on this because they're the ones that are pulling everyone together. They're trying to form this alliance of worlds. So they're going to go take out this Snegospan, and it's going to be a very long, bloody battle. That one's going to take me a while to actually get into it, and it is what it is. There's going to be a lot going on in that book. Now, after that, book 10, which winds everything up, uh, it's going to be called Ignition of the Heart. Now, there is actually a darker evil out there, which has been driving the Snegospan to do their genocide of all other races in existence. They're the ones that are the driving force behind it all. And this is something for the Winter Haveners more directly to take on. Besides the others, well, there are, they all kind of come together on that. But this is more that they're trying to restore things. They're trying to find a balance. They're trying to cement the alliance so that they have something of a lasting peace. Everybody works together with trade, everything going on so that they can actually do something, move forward with civilization, you know? So that will be the series itself. Now there's going to be kind of a little offshoot one, which I haven't gotten into yet because I still want to finish this one first. I have other series, I have other stories, other books I need to work on. The next one's going to be, it's going to be a standalone. It's not going to be a series. It's going to be a story called Journey Through Ash. I love Colony Worlds because honestly, I can take the current technology, try to project it forward as I can, and then pull it back a little because honestly, this is a colony world. They're going to have things as simply like pioneer days, overall, space pioneers. So I am going to um, be putting out that story. I believe after I finish this series, then I also have got another series that I'm going to be starting up to really take on, which is going to be calling the overall series is going to be called The Searchers, which is kind of basically they're the policing force for the galaxy, and there's a lot of things that they can do, a lot of things they can't do. Again, they're working with different peoples, different worlds, and there's this little girl that from Earth that happens to get recruited, whether or not she wanted to be, but she ends up becoming a searcher, and she works with Garen. So I have that series to actually get going. I've got actually before through the years I've written about roughly maybe four or five books started on that one. I'm not sure. I'd have to go through my old bookshelf over there, and Um, we'll get to that. I don't know how many books it'll end up being. It's not going to be a huge one like this one's going to be. This one's been more of an undertaking, but I've got other stories out there. Uh, I've got the oh gosh, I've got Earthreach series. I have got oh gosh, get back over to um. Oh, I actually have Talow's Quest, which is a story about a dragon, and he actually is going on a quest. I have got the um the oh my goodness, I've got that one too. Sorry. I've got all kinds of different little stories going. Starfire, Storm of the Vale of Moors, uh, Tanner's Keep. I mean, I've got all these different stories that I really want to get finished for everyone so that you have something that you can enjoy. But again, let me also let people remember that right now, for any donation that you make, that's going to be over $10 and more to the St. Jude's Children's Hospital, you can get a free copy of the Tina's Dawn audiobook, the very first book that we have. It's actually narrated by Alexander Doughty, and he does a wonderful job with that. It really is. It's fun. Our next book will be out again in an audiobook form. Book 2, Winter Haven. That one's going to be out later this year, maybe September-ish. Well, we're going to see. It's going to be a lot of fun to get that going there too. We're going to be also, of course, putting out Winds of Change, uh, Striding Forth, and the other books, Rescue and Arrival in her time, one after the other, so that we can get everyone. Those people who just want to throw in a CD or just want to pull it up on Google Play or all the different Audible or whatever, we have got all these different formats available for all the books, so that you can actually enjoy them in the way you like to read. We also have print copies available. So if you ever want to order a print copy of the books, uh, please feel free. Right now, I know Amazon is running a really good price for one of my books, Striding Forth. Check my website. You'll have all the links there. Just go to www.mariedaley.com and it will be there. You'll see a synopsis of the books, little sample versions for you to read, and it'll be something for you to enjoy. Okay? Is there anybody who has any questions for me? Please, 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 please ask them now. I'm here for you. If you have any questions about my books or me, come on, I'm here. I apologize if I'm taking so long. um, but please, it's been a really interesting time and so much fun to sit there and do my writing. I don't, if I don't write, I don't sleep. So of course I do write because I like to catch a few hours, here and there. Um, but again, if you, the one thing that's important today, absolutely, is please help the children, help their families. Donate to St. Jude's Children's Hospital. Again, the donation button will be in the comment section. And, well, I mean, please check out my website, www.mariedaley.com. And you can always reach me on my Facebook page also, but you'll also have a chance to leave comments on my Goodreads page. That also will have an area there for doing comments. And again, we do have. Oh, I did not tell everybody that right now I have got for the month of June, book 3, The Winds of Change, is available for free, the ebook version on Google Play. Go to my webpage and you will find the link for Winds of Change, and then just pick out the Google Play ebook one, and you'll see absolutely free. Go grab it so that you can just read it. I mean, honestly, I want to make sure everybody's enjoying things. Like you get a chance. Uh, it's kind of fun. It really is. To just be able to meet people and talk to them. And we will be doing with the release of Arrival. Possibly going a couple of places to visit people to say hello. And I do hope that um, everyone gets a chance to enjoy the work. It's a soft science fiction. It's not. I don't go heavy into the technology side of things. There's a lot of things that go into that because whenever you're writing a story like this, where it's a future projection, you try to imagine what it's going to be based on what we have now. And then, like again, with the colony world, I want to pull it back a little. Now, with the people coming from Earth, I'm not going into heavy of the things that they can do. But what I do, I try to do it as well as I can. I research things because I want to make sure that I'm giving you the best story and background possible that I can. Okay? Any questions? Anybody? I am here. Well, this is Marie Daly. Um, I don't know. Please, 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 please. I'm here for you. Okay. Hello. No questions. Um, oh, the lion people that of course, Rise and Garth are. And Tadina explains things in book 6 about how the Starman actually originated. So check out Arrival as soon as it comes out. That way you can find out more things about it. So thank you so very much for watching. And uh, stay tuned for your next stream with, uh, my apologies, uh, Crying Wolf, um, playing Guardians of the Galaxy. So I hope you have a great rest of your day. And again, just, well, bless you all. And thank you for taking the time to watch. And I hope you enjoy my books. Take care. Bye.